Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Audi RS7 Sportback. Now this is 1,215 horsepower, 833 pounds-feet of torque from a 5.7 litre twin turbocharged V10 engine. The car itself now weighs 3,537 pounds, still has its all-wheel drive system, but it now has off-road tyres and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.347 seconds, 0 to 104.548 seconds, and go to a top speed of 262 miles an hour. Now we had the RS e-tron GT also from Audi in the previous episode, which put in a really impressive time as it got into 13th place, which is easily one of the highest places for a electric car. I think it's third best electric car that we've had on this series so far. So yeah, that was mightily impressive. But this RS7, it's lighter, more powerful in terms of horsepower, although slightly less in terms of torque, and is more quicker in terms of acceleration and top speed. So can the older version of a saloon car do better than what is a more modern version of a saloon? We'll have to see. But yeah, stat wise, this is pretty good. Speed, handling, acceleration, launch and braking are all excellent, and even the off-road capability is fairly solid as well. So yeah, let's get out there and see what it can do. So yeah, when I talk about old and new, obviously I mean in terms of powertrains. Obviously the e-tron is basically the future of motoring in terms of electric power, whereas this is obviously more old school with its combustion engine. So yeah, let's see who's going to do best, electric or combustion. And like I said, obviously this is faster in terms of acceleration and top speed while being lighter, but it's still a pretty large car, as large as, if not maybe slightly larger than the e-tron. So yeah, it's not going to be the most nimble of things in terms of threading it through anything that's narrow or got a lot of road furniture on the side, but yeah, there's no doubt that it's quicker in a straight line. So yeah, it's got more power. But obviously the big advantage with electric cars is not only all of that torque, but the torque and the horsepower being there and then instantly. Out of corners, off the line, anything like that. So yeah, that's the one thing that this might have against it. Hopefully it's got so much power and such a little amount of weight in comparison to the e-tron that might be somewhat offset, if not wholly. For now it's performing pretty well. Certainly a lot louder than the e-tron. Really impressed with how this is doing so far. Struggling a little bit with the bumps and the jumps. As you can see there, it was rising its rear end up a fair bit, which isn't helpful. Everywhere else it seems to be okay. It seems to have a little bit of understeer though, but that's very typical of a combustion engine Audi saloon car. It's dealing with the power really well. Obviously this is more than twice the power it had originally. A fair bit more in the way of torque, so yeah. All-wheel drive system is working overtime with the off-road elements and all that extra power. Pretty much got to the same rate of speed down there then as the e-tron did, so it's going to be a close one, I feel. No doubt this is going to be a pretty quick time though, regardless of whether it's as fast as the e-tron or not. understeer. Yeah, we're not as quick as the e-tron, surprisingly, despite having all of that extra power, all of that extra acceleration and speed and the lack of weight. It's slightly slower at 3 minutes 21.176. Now that is still enough to get it into the top 10, top 20 even, sorry, but only just. It's only 0.2 of a second quicker than Nissan Safari's Z370Z, so which is now out of the top 20. But yeah, that is not quite as quick as the e-tron. It's nearly 3 seconds slower. So even though, yeah, this has more power, more acceleration and less weight, the electric, powertrain, which has that instant amount of torque, instant amount of acceleration and power, no matter what, is really what seems to have gotten this, gotten the e-tron to be quicker than this. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame because it did feel properly quick, but I feel like the lack of instantaneous power through being a combustion engine over an electric powertrain, and the fact that it had some understeer issues at times, is ultimately what neutered this from being as quick as that e-tron. But still, that's another Audi at least in the top 20 to join the e-tron, so that's 2 out of 2 for those. Obviously they have had some slower Audis in this series so far, but yeah, 2 saloon cars from Audi that are 2 completely different kind of ways of going about making a sport saloon are in the top 20. And yeah, it means it also is quicker than the likes of the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, the Aston Martin DBX and the Toyota Hilux AT38, which are obviously off-road vehicles. So yeah, solid time, just not quite as great as the e-tron. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.